I'm not a fan of Universes Beyond. While there's some properties that I personally like, from Doctor Who to The Princess Bride, and other properties that I don't personally enjoy but can still acknowledge have had amazing card designs, such as Warhammer 40k, overall, if it were up to me, I'd not have brought in outside properties to Magic the Gathering. That's just my personal opinion. But it's not up to me. And Magic has brought in outside properties, and it has been, inarguably, an enormous, incredible success. So while I personally just want Magic to have stayed Magic, I cannot deny that Universes Beyond has brought in more new players and more of the sweet, sweet cash for Hasbro than imaginable, all while keeping the majority of existing players interested and excited for upcoming sets, such as Final Fantasy, Spider-Man, and Avatar: The Last Airbender, all of which come out this year. And I am able to compartmentalize those two ideas. I don't personally like that we have Universes Beyond in Magic, but it's actually been a net positive, and no, it hasn't killed the game, nor has it killed my love for the game. Not my jam, but I'm glad if it is your jam, and I can even find a little bit of joy in it myself from time to time. Now, that isn't to say things like the price and availability of Universes Beyond isn't an issue, because it absolutely is. And yes, I will talk about the outrageous price increases for Final Fantasy in its own devoted video, but I want to be clear that here, when I say Universes Beyond is not the problem, that I specifically mean the existence of outside IP in Magic the Gathering is not the problem. We could use less of it, and we could use Wizards maybe being a bit more selective about what they choose to bring into Magic, and we certainly could use it not being outrageously marked up, but the existence of Universes Beyond is not the problem. But there is a problem growing within Magic the Gathering, and that problem is the way which Wizards of the Coast has seemingly been self-sabotaging its own worlds, the sets which take place within the Magic the Gathering universe. 50% of Magic the Gathering may be Universes Beyond now, but the 50% that is still Magic the Gathering has become more and more superficial, more and more frivolous, and ultimately, sadly, more and more rushed through and passed over in favor of the other half of Magic the Gathering, the half that is Universes Beyond. Blah 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 blah. But I got something else to wind on and on about first. Food. It's one of life's greatest pleasures, but when you lead a busy life like I do, it's often hard to find the time necessary for eating delicious food. Either you have to cook it yourself, which takes forever, or you have to go out to dinner, which is expensive and also takes a long time, or you have to order something and it's going to take an hour to get there and it's going to cost 5 times what it should and probably be the wrong order. I'm sick of it. Or at least I was sick of it, but thanks to Factor, sponsor of today's video, I can now eat delicious, chef-crafted meals anytime I want, and they're ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Factor makes eating well a completely stress-free process. They completely eliminate all the hassle of cooking. No more grocery runs, no more meal prepping, no more getting tired of the same dishes day after day, week after week. Instead, get dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door with over 35 options to choose from per week. You'll never get tired of the selection. Factor even has options for different dietary restrictions such as keto, calorie smart, vegan, veggie, and more. I'm a huge snacker personally. I always keep the office stacked with all kinds of goodies to eat throughout the day. Factor is perfect for snackers like me, as they offer all kinds of options like breakfast, smoothies, juices, small bites, and more to keep me going no matter what I've got going on in the day. And hey, when things get hectic, Factor's got you covered. Factor is ultra flexible, so you can change up your order every week with anywhere from 4 to 18 meals per week. You can also pause or reschedule your deliveries anytime. No questions asked. So if you want to level up your meal game, then try Factor. Get 50% off and free shipping on your first Factor box using my link. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code with your phone. And thank you, Factor, for sponsoring this video. So what exactly has gone wrong with the in-universe sets of Magic the Gathering? Several things, in fact, that I shall cover, but let's start here. Currently, our in-universe set is a race car set. In it, characters we know from our previously distinct and once taken seriously worlds have dressed up in NASCAR-like racing suits to get on motorcycles and speed cars and race along highways that have somehow been erected on planes like Amonkhet and Murganda and all compete for a giant MacGuffin trophy. It's the race car set. We're in cars and motorcycles and we are racing. Hey, can you name all of the teams? Honestly, right now, from memory, can you correctly name all 5 of the racing teams of this set? Is it 5 or is it 10? Who are they and what are their personalities? Did you even know there were 10 teams? Did you even know there were teams? Prior to this was our 80s horror set where cheerleaders and angsty teens ran away from clowns and dolls based on Annabelle and Chucky while sporting Nike sneakers, hitting play on their Walkmans and busting ghosts right back into their TV sets. And acknowledgement, Duskmorn was still a great and fantastic set, but that was due in no small part to its amazing mechanics and card design, and less to the fact that it was filled with tongue-in-cheek memes and references to 80s culture and horror movies. And of course, prior to that, everyone dressed up as cowboys, even though it made no sense whatsoever. Why is Queen Marchesa suddenly on Thunder Junction, acting like a common outlaw, and again, dressed and talking like a cowboy? Why is Rakdos, the slumbering leader of the Rakdos Guild of Ravnica, suddenly on Thunder Junction and playing dress-up as the muscle of a gang of other magic characters from across the multiverse? Once characters were portrayed in earnest and treated seriously, not as if some kid had all their action figures and decided to dress them up in cowboy hats and mash them together. And before that, the hat of choice was a fedora, never before seen on the beloved plane of Ravnica, which now has literally hundreds upon hundreds of detectives, all wearing the distinct fashion style not of the world of Ravnica, but from the cheesy and dated noir detective films of our world. Fairies are now detectives and they wear little tiny fedoras because that's how detectives dress. And Lizov, the mysterious shape-shifting leader of the Demir Guild, is also a detective. Watch out, criminals and murderers, Lizov is on the case. He's looking for clues, as is half the population of Ravnica, seemingly. He's teaming up with Scooby-Doo and Columbo, who have been turned into silly magic cards for this, our in-universe set. This new style of set where everyone's a detective, everyone's a cowboy, everyone's a race car driver has been referred to as hat sets, where there is little to no world building and whose premise is only as deep as, wouldn't it be cool if your favorite magic characters were all dressed as blank? I believe that hat sets have made it so that our in-universe magic sets feel less and less like magic. If half of all of Magic the Gathering is going to be universes beyond, then the other half, the half that is in-universe, needs to double down on everything that makes magic, well, magic. Even when you do have a non-hat set, such as Caverns of Ixalan, these in-universe Magic the Gathering sets can often feel less and less like in-universe Magic sets, when the very booster packs come with things like Jurassic Park cards inside of them, or Transformers cards, or Ghostbusters cards. Were those in the Duskborn packs? I can't even keep it straight anymore. This year's in-universe set, Edge of Eternities, looks really cool so far, and hopefully will dive deep into world building and take its narrative seriously. But even if it does, that can all be diluted and trivialized if those booster packs contain, I don't know, Rick and Morty cards or Star Wars cards, because even then you are getting Universe Beyond cards in my non-Universes Beyond packs. Or maybe they'll just lean into silly, completely out-of-universe art styles like Aetherdrift's cartoony, wacky racers alternate arts. It's one thing to have showcase artworks like Eldraine, where the alternate arts look like pages from a fantasy storybook, like something that matches not only Eldraine's aesthetic, but the aesthetic of Magic the Gathering. And it's another to have whatever this is, or this in your in-universe booster packs. And I'm sorry, but no matter how rich and complex the main set cards from Edge of Eternity might be, it will absolutely detract from that quality if you have a goofy Buck Rogers-style Jace as Space Cadet alternate art like this. Wait a minute, that's a real card. So is this. They were uncards. But now this is the type of art style and goofiness you can find in regular booster packs. When you do wacky, outrageous, and cartoony showcase styles that in no way are evocative of the aesthetic of in-universe Magic cards, you turn a regular Magic set into an unset, a joke set. And I don't want Magic's in-universe sets to be a joke. Recently, Cardboard Crack did an incredibly touching comic where the character simply read deep, inspirational flavor text from cards from Magic's past. This is the Magic the Gathering I know and remember, the Magic the Gathering I want to see represented in my in-universe packs, instead of everything always being a wacky joke that doesn't even look or sound like Magic. I want Magic to take itself and its world seriously again. Do Spider-Man and SpongeBob fine, but at least make sure when we return to Ravnica that it's still Ravnica. Ravnica is a world that Magic should be proud of. I don't want to return to Lorwyn next year and have the theme be that everyone dresses up like superheroes now and capes and masks or whatever. I want Magic's in-universe world to still be Magic. Luckily, the next Magic the Gathering set, Dragonstorm, so far looks to do just that. While previews have only just begun, by all indications, this is not a hat set. And this is a set that dives deep into the history and lore of a beloved Magic the Gathering world. I cannot tell you how excited I am for Tarkir. Revisiting this plane has so much opportunity for continuing to build the world and characters that so many of us fell in love with over a decade ago. While I struggle to name the racing teams of Aetherdrift, when Tarkir was released, instantly the 5 clans were etched into Magic players' minds. Sultai, Abzan, Temur, Mardu, and Jeskai. You knew what colors each was associated with. You knew their clan leaders and later their dragon lords. This is Magic the Gathering as it once was, taking itself seriously. Sadly, while Tarkir is the next set, Wizards of the Coast has chosen to leap past it and devote its considerable hype machine to the set following it, Final Fantasy. And that brings me to the next problem with universes within sets. Last week, with Aetherdrift having fully released mere days ago, Wizards of the Coast turned its full attention to Final Fantasy, releasing a trailer, revealing commander decks, legendary creatures, exciting new cards, more silly meme cards, and basically skipping past Tarkir to instead build hype and excitement for the Universes Beyond set that follows it. All while cutting short any attention and interest that could be growing for the Universes Within set that just released literally a few days earlier. Now I know there are a lot of new sets and products coming out these days, but regardless of the number of new sets being released, when you begin hyping Universes Beyond sets mere days after an in-universe set drops, when you skip an in-universe set like Tarkir to hype up Final Fantasy, it makes it feel that Wizards just isn't interested in promoting the in-universe sets. That all WotC cares about are the Universes Beyond sets. After all, those are the sets that make all the money. And yes, I will talk about how Final Fantasy is going to be the most expensive standard set of all time, with outrageous prices not marked up by stores, but rather set and determined by Wizards of the Coast. Give me time, I'm composing that video as we speak. These prices are ridiculous for sure, but so too is rushing through and skipping past your in-universe Magic sets. So too is filling your in-universe sets with the superficiality of characters dressing up in hats, cards from Universes Beyond in booster packs, or just showcase arts that look absolutely nothing like Magic's rich setting and aesthetic. Wizards of the Coast, you want to make half of all of Magic Universes Beyond? Fine. I don't personally like it, but fine. It sells, right? Even with higher prices, it sells, so here we are. But, then maybe you could really, really make sure those in-universe sets dive deep into world building and Magic's rich history and setting. Leave out the wacky racers. Don't put Transformer cards or Jurassic Park cards within in-universe sets, and make our trips to Ravnica and Tarkir and Lorwyn and wherever else in the Magic multiverse we might go to be journeys that respect those worlds, that revel in the depth of those characters, that celebrate that which makes Magic the Gathering, Magic the Gathering. And for the love of Urza, take off the hats. 50% of Magic might be Universes Beyond now, but make sure you remember what the other 50% is and should be, and that is not Team Fortress 2. But that, of course, is just me, the professor, winding on and on about my strong opinions again, and now I want to hear from you. What do you think of Magic's recent trend toward hat sets, the inclusion of goofy, out-of-world showcase styles, and the rushing through of Magic's in-universe sets just to keep the spotlight on Magic's Universes Beyond? Let me know in the comments below. And hey, thanks once again to Factor for sponsoring this Tolarian Wind. With Factor, you can get delicious chef-prepared meals that are ready to eat in just 2 minutes. You never have to worry about delivery or shopping or whatever. Again, with Factor, they've got you covered. So if you're ready to level up your meal game, then try Factor. Get 50% off and free shipping on your first Factor box when you use my link. Just click the link in the video description or scan the QR code with your phone. And thank you, Factor, for sponsoring this video.
Next time on Shuffle Up and Play.
We're talking about Brexit again on Shuffle Up and Play. We have brought our pet decks. Maybe not the most powerful Commander decks, but some of our favorites from over the years that we just can't put down and can't stop tuning up.
Hey, anyone want to concede quickly?
Thank God, I'm out of here.
Nice.
Get him!
I don't like bowing to politics, but
Bow to me.
Ailey is right. Wow, okay.
I think the kids started thinking that the word bussin' is cringe.
If it wasn't before, it is
now.
I just want to see you hoisted on your own petard, man. Like, you pay 20, like, don't make the minion and then just sit there. Do you have a Gru cosplay?
No.
Normally, it's over the head. I'm a parent of a small child.
Okay.
I Urza hate minions.